Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? So, I wanted to do a little bit. What was that? That eye close there. That was called Finding Peace and Serenity in the Moment. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So please help me to know the difference today. Okay, let's get into this video. I wanted to do a little update over here today. I just got done with my Zoom therapy session with my therapist, and it was fantastic, and I want to talk a little bit about that today because it kind of plays in to some of the things I've been talking about over here of, some things that people throw in my face, and also like the stalking and harassing and things like that. So I want to talk about some of that over here. I also think, it's always been important for me to normalize things like sharing my addiction story, talking about recovery. It's also important for me to normalize marriage counseling as a tool to help your marriage. And it's also really important for me to normalize seeking help for mental health issues. So I want to talk about that a little bit today. There's no shame in that whatsoever, and I think one of the things I am so thankful for in 2023, 2022, 23, 21, I feel like the last couple years is I see more and more people speaking openly about seeking treatment for addiction issues. I see entire TikTok accounts, YouTube accounts dedicated to people in recovery, which is just amazing. I love that, right? I also see a lot of people talking about mental health issues, and there's entire mental health communities on YouTube, and people sharing their stories of mental health on TikTok and things like that, and how they got help and things like that. And I think it's really important. I think everyone's story is important. I'm such a believer in turning your wounds into wisdom and sharing your story to plant the seed for somebody else. You never know who at that right moment is hearing your story, and if it's just one person. I've talked to several people that have shared their stories about mental health or addiction issues, and they'll just say, I don't really feel like I'm making much of an impact, I'm only getting so many views, people aren't really watching me. But on at least everything I do, I'll get one comment, and somebody will say, I really needed to hear this today, or, you're the reason why I watched your, TikToks for months on end, and finally I decided to get treatment. If you help, I've always seen it this way on my channel, right? If by sharing my addiction story, if by sharing my recovery story, I help one person out there feel like they can do it too, by planting the seed, then my purpose of sharing my story over here has been accomplished. It's just one person out there, because then that one person can share their story, then that person can go plant the seed somewhere else, and then that seed can grow, over and over and over, and it's one person helping another. That's really super powerful, When I started working with my therapist on my OCD, which was really, really terrifying to even go to my therapist earlier this year and say, this is something I've mentioned with other therapists, but I've never really worked on fully, and it's become this out of control problem, is my OCD. And, he immediately took it very, very seriously and was so helpful, and has been so helpful. And today we were talking, and I feel like I've reduced my rituals greatly, and I'm starting to understand where they come from a little bit better, which is part of what I want to talk about today. I, at the time, was watching YouTube videos of people sharing their experiences about OCD. That was so helpful to me, to watch a video and see somebody share their experience of having something similar to me. And even if our stories were not exactly the same, to hear that person say things that were similar to me, and I'd be like, oh my God, yep. It reminded me so much of early sobriety. My first sponsor would have me go to meetings, and at the time that I got sober at 22 and a half. And so most of the people that I was going to meetings with were in their 40s and their 50s. The age difference was hard to relate to at that time, right? And so, I was out partying with my friends. Most of them were sitting in their, recliner at home getting drunk, or most of them were going to the bar after work. So their drinking experiences were very different than mine. And I was looking for the differences and not the similarities. And one of the things that my sponsor said to me was, look for the similarities, not the differences. It's kind of a recovery saying, right? And so he said, you're going to take a notebook to meetings, and every time that, like if you go to a speaker lead, which is where somebody shares their story of what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now, every time you go to a speaker lead and somebody's sharing their story, anything that they say that you relate to, then you're going to write that down in your book, right? Like in your notebook. So like if they say, you know, I live in Indianapolis, then I would write, I live in Indianapolis down. If they would say, I'm an addict, I would write, I'm an addict down. If they say, I'm an alcoholic, I write down, I'm an alcoholic, you know? If they'd say, I started drinking when I was 12 years old, I'd say, I started drinking when I was 12 years old, because that's when I started, you know, pretty regularly drinking. And that was really helpful to me. And then what I saw was, even though I was interacting with people that were going to the bar after work, and I'm not talking about a club, I'm talking about a bar, okay? And they were sitting on the bar drinking after work, and that was so completely different from me. Or they were sitting in a recliner, you know, drinking whiskey at night, and I was out at a club drinking Jack Daniels. It really wasn't that different, you know? Even though our locations were different, even though the situation was different, the drinking was very similar. And I started seeing the similarities instead of the differences, and it was so helpful to me. Because then I was like, okay, I'm not unique. Like, all of our stories are very, very similar, and that's what brings us together. Likewise, in hearing other people's mental health stories and their struggles and them getting help has really, really helped me, and feeling like I'm not so all alone. And for years upon years upon years, I really felt like, especially with my OCD, because it does feel maddening at times, I felt completely alone. I felt embarrassed and ashamed to talk to people about it. And specifically, one trait that has come out, and like we talked about today, I'll just share it now, since I'm going to reference it probably later in the video. One of my worst rituals, so the things that you do are rituals. And so he actually had me make a list. I think I have it on here. Hold on a second. He actually had me make a list about a month ago of my rituals. Here it is. What date was it? On October 12th, he had me make a list of my rituals. So I was laying in bed. I couldn't sleep one night, so I just grabbed my phone and I started making this list of my rituals. You guys, it's literally like crazy. It's how many I have. So now he's having me put them into categories of rituals. And we were talking today because I said, I don't know what it is, but I'm really resistant to, this is how my mind works. And I'm just sharing this in case somebody else out there relates to it. You know, one of the reasons why I have my sponsor that I have today in recovery is because when I heard her share her lead, and she has said I can completely share this, she said two things in her lead that really were things I needed to hear at that time. And one was the importance of remaining sponsorable. And that was kind of a term that I had never heard of before, even at like 18 years sober, or at the time I guess I was 14, 15 years sober. I had never really heard this idea of remaining sponsorable. And the idea of remaining sponsorable means that you have a sponsor that you are willing to listen to and listen to their suggestions, okay? And that you always have a sponsor, no matter if you have 40 days or 40 years. So you always have a sponsor that you're working steps with and doing inventory, right? That you always have a guide through the 12 steps. So I loved that idea because I had a sponsor that had no sponsor, hadn't had a sponsor in 10 years, right? And I didn't know that when I got them as a sponsor, but like after I found that out, I was like, this is kind of like, this is scary to me that my sponsor doesn't have a sponsor. Like, who do they go to for, you know, suggestions and advisement and mentorship and things like that? And so, yeah, so that was really, really helpful to me. It also goes along the lines of remaining teachable, you know, and I love that idea. I think that, you know, we stop growing when we remain unteachable. Like, when we think that we know everything, we have it all figured out, like, we stop growing. One of the things that I have had to be very careful with in my sobriety since I came back into the rooms 10 or 11 years ago, I think maybe 12 years ago, I'm not sure, is that I can get very much into my head, and I can almost kind of, you've probably seen this on this channel, you guys probably saw it before I did, actually, as I can get very much in my head, and I can evaluate things too much, and I can be like, well, maybe this, or maybe that, or whatever, because I know, like, to the people out there that don't like me, they just want to shred me, but to a lot of people out there that like me, I know that you guys are just giving me critiques, right, and you're just giving me suggestions for changes that you see in me, or maybe Peter's cussing too much, or he's yelling, and, like, something's going on with Peter, what's going on, right? And so, and I explained that all in my video the other day, so I'm not going to redo that again. But, so you know, like, I know that you're just worried about me, so I really listen to those things, and I look at them, and I evaluate them, and I even write them down, and I'm like, you know, taking them to my sponsor or my therapist and going over them and stuff like that, you know. And then it's like, my friend Tanya said this a couple years ago to me. She said, I think you almost kind of like evaluate stuff too much sometimes. Like, not everything has to be fixed 100%, you know. You're not going to ever be like the best version of yourself, but I always aim at that, right? I know that I'm not going to ever be that. I'm never going to be a perfect example of myself. I'm going to constantly continue to make mistakes and learn from them, right? It's the remaining open to learning from those mistakes. And that's something that I've tried to demonstrate on this channel over here. And I think to some degree, to the point and the detriment of that, there are people that feel that they can like walk all over me. And they can move goalposts, and they can change up things and stuff like that, right? So, getting back to this, one of my rituals that I have that has been the hardest for me to break, okay? And I'm going to just be completely honest with you guys. I know this sounds wacko. It sounds wacko to me when I'm talking about it. It sounds wacko to me when I'm processing with my therapist. I even say that to him. I'm like, do your other clients that, you know, like, have OCD, do they feel like, and he's like, there's differences between OCD and OCPD, and he's like, and you're very, very aware, and this is why it falls into OCD. He's explained the whole thing to me, right? Because I am very aware of, like, even when I'm doing it, that there's no rationality in it whatsoever, and OCD is really rooted in, if I don't do this one thing and over again, something bad might happen. So one of my hardest rituals to break is that when I'm watching shows, I constantly rewind it. And my number is 4, so I have to rewind things 4 times. So if I have a trigger word so I have trigger words that like bother me, okay? And it's not just like shirt or things like that. It's like trigger words of things that, like for example, accident would be a trigger word for me. If somebody says that in a show, or if somebody says something like overdose, like that's a trigger word for me, right? Then I have to rewind that 4 times because I'm worried that like that's going to happen to somebody in my life. So I have to rewind that 4 times, and by rewinding it 4 times, my mind, I know this sounds crazy, right? My mind thinks that that's going to stop that from happening, okay? So I would say at this point, I've eliminated the majority of my rituals, of which there are many. This is one that I still struggle with. So just imagine this. Like last night I'm out here and I'm watching Survivor and I'm watching Amazing Race, and probably every 5 to 10 minutes during the show, I'm rewinding it 4 times. But it doesn't always stop at that. Sometimes if like I don't get it exactly right on the 4th time, it's in multiples. So I have to do it 8 times, 12 times, 6 times, okay? Or 16 times. So imagine every 10 minutes rewinding a show 16 times. How long that would take you and how annoying it would be, because while you're doing it, you feel like you're losing it, right? Okay? So like last night, I was like, if I misheard something, and there's also the rational point where I really don't hear something that's in the show, so I rewind it. But then the triggering of the rewinding it means I have to rewind it 4 times. So last night, when that was the case, I would just be like, okay, I am just going to rewind it once or twice, and I'm going to push through because I want to tell my therapist today that I did really good on that, right? I have a Diet Coke. Let me open my Diet Coke real quick. So anyway, so last night, like, it was really driving me crazy. I was doing it so much that, and like, you know, my husband has said stuff about it. He knows about it. So like when he sees me doing it or he hears me doing it, he'll be like, hey babe, are you okay? Like, is something going on? My friend Tanya is very aware of it. I do it with songs. I do it with a lot of things, right? But typically it's really bad with TV shows and movies that I'm watching on my iPad. So we were talking today in therapy, and one of the things that, I'm not going to get into depth about this, the day will come where I come out and talk about all my feelings and emotions related to the accident. I don't know that I'm necessarily in the healthiest place to do that today. So today is not that day. I also feel that when that video comes out and I do that video, it needs to be in such a respectful manner. You know, it's always interesting to me, and this just literally just happened the other day. Somebody posted the obituary of the man that died in the accident. I don't know if you realize what you're doing when you are weaponizing that person's death and the effect that it had on their family, when you're trying to hurt me with that by tweeting that out. But if there is one day in my entire life that I could take away, it would be that day. If there is one day in my entire life that lives over and over and over on repeat in my mind, it would be that day. You You know, there's people out there speculating that there's lawsuits, and there's no lawsuits going on, okay? You're misreading the information, just so you know. And I will be coming out and addressing that at some point, too. People are saying that, you know, it was disrupted driving. It was a medical emergency, okay? I had a seizure. I also had a seizure in the ambulance, and I also had a seizure when I got to the emergency room. There's been a police investigation. When I come out finally and I do address this, and I explain to you how the police came up with absolute factual evidence, okay, that they know that I had a seizure when I was, it wasn't just guesswork, it wasn't blood work, it wasn't something that, they know without a doubt that that's what happened, okay? So for all of you out there that have weaponized that against me, it will shut it down immediately, all right? But I'm not in a place to come out and do that video today, all right? And I also need to do it in such a respectful way for the families that were involved. I don't really know how much louder I have to say this, but when you are posting a picture of a man's obituary on Twitter, or you are referencing it in a thread or whatever, one of the reasons why I pay you no mind and I immediately block you is because you are such a disgusting human being. And yes, this just happened on Twitter the other day. When I came out with my video talking about me apologizing to people, that video that I thought, well, I know that there are going to be some people that aren't going to accept this, but then there's going to be other people. The haters came harder for me, you guys. Like, honest to God, when I made that video and I got real honest and I apologized, you know, first of all, a lot of people said it was too little too late. Literally, the person was offended 2 days before that. I sat on it for a day and evaluated it. I evaluated all the comments from people saying, from that video, saying that they felt like they were being yelled at and whatever. I had recently just started reading this. I hadn't read a bunch of comments like that before. I literally sat on it for a day, evaluated it, talked to my sponsor, talked to my best friend and my husband, did all this kind of stuff about it, right? And then I turned around and made the apology. That was too little too late. You have influencers that are sitting around for months on end that will not address situations, but the standard is set so high for Peter Monn that I have 2 days to turn around and address the situation. Yeah, I do take some offense to that. I really do. And what I realize through that is it doesn't really matter what I do, because there's going to be people out there that are never going to be happy. Well, when I made that video, people just came harder for me. That day that I made that video was when somebody tweeted out that obituary. And I blocked him with quickness. I was like, I don't know if you really realize this, but your hatred for me is really hurting somebody else. It's hurting this family out there that is probably still to this day grieving horrifically every single day, okay? And if they were to see that out there, how hurtful and painful that would be, right? I can't take away what happened. Trust me, if I could, I would 100 million times over. You don't think I sit here every single day and think to myself, I wish it would have been me, so that somebody else's family wouldn't have been affected by the medical emergency of myself? You think that's not something that I live with every single day? And you guys sit in threads and you say, well, it should have been him? You think I don't think that? You think I don't wonder that? So I make this video and I'm trying to do the right thing and I'm trying to speak to people. And I will say this, there were so many people out there that have said in the comment sections, Peter, I love you, but like you're yelling, or Peter, I've watched you for a long time, but you're yelling, you're cussing a lot, whatever, right? And there were so many of you out there that acknowledged that I had said that and I took accountability for it, and that you were really pleased and that you were sticking around because of that, because you wanted to see if the change was going to be true or if it was going to stop, right? And I really appreciate that. That meant a lot to me. There were a few people out there that, just a few, that it was too little too late, okay? What was interesting to me is that there were a few people out there also, like, there's a couple people that, like, when you go look at their comments, if you see a nasty comment on my video, like, and this is the changing of the goalposts, right? It's like, if I question the comment back, then they go, well, you can't be open to criticism, right? When I was literally open to criticism and I came out and made a full apology and said I was going to change the entire way that I was on video, which I stand by. I'm still going to do those things. I don't have to yell. I don't have to cuss profusely in a video. You know, I can change those things and still address important issues and still be funny and flip fans and cuss once in a while and things like that, right? The people that rode the hardest for me have never once come and acknowledged that I took accountability for it. They were the ones that announced that they were leaving my channel. This one gal on my channel, after I post this video today, she will be blocked. Because I went back and I looked at her comments, And she was the one that said something to the effect of, when I said, if you don't want to be here, you don't have to stay here. And she goes, you don't need to tell us to leave. We have to leave because we don't want to be here. And you literally commented on my video yesterday. More nastiness. Every comment's nasty. You know, so what I really realized is that the majority of you out there are watching my channel because you really, really enjoy it. And I appreciate that. Like I say, I mean, I get to get up every single day and do something that I love. That part, I don't love, okay? I don't love. And I want to explain to you where the negative comments turn scary at some point in a second. But when I was in my therapy session today, I was talking to my therapist and I was talking about this rewinding of things, right? And you know, I just kind of go with my gut. If you watch my Peter Rislam's channel, I read meditations and I just go with my gut. And I said to him, I said, because we've talked about this for a long time, right? We've talked about a lot of the OCD escalating after the accident and all this kind of stuff. And I said to him, I said, I know this is going to kind of sound strange, but do you think like in some literal way in my mind, like by me rewinding a TV show or me having to rewind songs, which is something new since the accident, I said, do you think that it could be my mind? Oh my God, there's an Amazon order coming. Let me get this Amazon order and then I will be right back. Oh my Lord, it's a big package. I don't know what this is. I know what this is because I ordered a bunch of graphic novels because I'm back into graphic novels. By the way, the final issue of Heartstopper by Alice Oseman comes out December 12th. I just pre-ordered it. It's the final one. So sad, but anyway, I love all her books. Radio Silence, Solitaire, they're all fantastic if you're looking for a new author. But I said to my therapist today, I said, do you think like in some weird literal, I don't know, literal, figurative, whatever, in my mind, like the rewinding of the songs and the rewinding of the TV show, do you think that it could be like in my mind, like trying to rewind the events that happened on that day? Like, I go, I know that sounds kind of crazy. He goes, it doesn't sound crazy at all. He goes, I actually think since you're coming up with it while we're talking about it, there's probably a lot of truth to that. And I was like, damn. I think, you know, from the people out there that really don't like me, there's a lot of comments like, this, you have this accident and now you're just back on YouTube making videos, or you just gone on with your life and whatever. I don't really know how to explain to people. My friends that I talk to, my close friends, they know, right? I don't really know how to explain to you what it's like to live every single day. And this is why I'm not in a place to talk about it yet, right? I don't know how to explain to you what it's like to live every single day with something horrific happening that feels like you did that to somebody else, but knowing that it was a medical emergency you could not control, and every day that going through your head. I don't know if you can even imagine the amount of guilt and shame I have, right? Not to mention that whenever I go through that, I think, but then there's these people out there that have suffered so much worse than you have, okay? And you were part of that. Like, I don't know, and that's every single day. Goes through my head every single day, right? At some point, I had to make a decision. Am I going to sit in this chair and just spin all day long? Or am I going to get back to making YouTube videos? I don't know what it is you want from me. You know, I don't know, for those people out there, like, you hate me so much that you throw in my face the one thing you know I can't control, couldn't control, that had a horrific outcome, okay? That somebody out there, it's inconceivable to me. Like, you are such a disgusting human being out there if that's what you're doing. You know, my mother used to always say to me, do not validate, or do not listen to the opinions of those people you don't value to begin with. I don't value your opinion, okay? That's why I block you with quickness when you throw up anything about the accident on my YouTube channel or anything, okay? For you to throw that in somebody's face, you are a disgusting human being. Absolutely disgusting human being, okay? And to then use the plight and what those family, and the pain that those family members have gone through, that's their story, not yours, okay? To throw that, to weaponize that against somebody, like, you're such a sick person out there. Like, you really need some help. that you think in your world that that's okay, okay? But while you want to come for me, why don't you put your full name out there and your full face on your profile picture if you are so proud of that statement, okay? And let me just make this very, very clear, because I've looked at these people's profiles before and their Twitter accounts before I block them. They're not 12-year-old kids. They're not 16-year-old kids, okay? They're people that are mothers. They have children. They have families. And they have things like that, okay? These are not 12 to 16-year-olds that are bitter that I talked about somebody. I don't even really talk about people that much on my channel that age group talks about. I'm not talking about gamers on my channel and stuff like that, okay? I'm talking about people like Rosanna Pansino and Trisha Paytas, okay? Or, I don't even talk about Rosanna Pansino that much, but I did get a lot of negativity about that. So anyway, so that was one of the things I was talking about with my therapist today, you know, and I'm just doing my best, you know, like June Carter Cash shut. I'm just trying to get through the day kind of thing. You know, it's like, I'm just doing my best, right? It would be really easy for me at times, like, okay, this is the movie Another Goalpost, right? People say don't read the comments. So then I don't read the comments for a couple days. And then people say, Peter never reads the comments. He doesn't care about his comment sections. So it's like, okay, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to read the comments? Okay, well then read the comments but don't get upset about it. How am I supposed to do that, you know? And like, I have to say, like 90% of the comments are really, really glowing. They're really, really nice. They're fantastic, you know? So, the super fandom. Let's talk about that for a second, okay? The super fandom. When you have been sitting around here for 7 years filming videos that I do, you can hint out a super fan immediately, okay? First of all, a super fan is somebody that never really comments on your videos unless you're talking about one person. And then they come and they just they spam your comment section with paragraphs about somebody, okay? But it's only ever about one person. Then if you call that person out for being a super fan, what they say is, Peter's go-to has always said I'm a super fan. I haven't even really ever watched any of these people's videos when I literally can see your subscriptions on your page and you subscribe to that person. Okay? These are the people that I deal with on a regular basis, okay? So when I say this is how super fans deal with drama channels, is they come over and they just flood and flood and flood and spam your comment sections with literal paragraphs to the universe, okay? Defending this person, calling you horrific names, calling you a liar, saying you did this, saying you did that, right? If you're not a super fan of these people, like I'm just gonna pull up some, here, let's just pull up, I'll pull up celebrities. Okay, celebrities, top celebrities. I'll just pull this up on top celebrities on the internet. Let's just pull up, here, who's it pull up here? Johnny Depp, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Cruise, Beyonce. Let's see somebody. Okay, Taylor Swift. She's a good one because she's one that gets a lot of like a thing. I like Taylor Swift music. I'm turning slowly into a Swiftie, okay? I am not anybody that if somebody came out with a video and talking about Taylor Swift, that I am going to be writing literally 14 and 15 paragraphs. Paragraphs. Small print paragraphs. Defending Taylor Swift if I had only listened to 4 or 5 of her songs over 5-10 years, okay? Wait a second. Not just on my channel, but numerous videos on my channel about that same person. And I went back and look at your comments, and every comment that you've commented on is about the exact same topic. You've only commented on my channel about Rosanna Pansino, okay? Then I see that somebody else has made a video about my video, and you've made the same comment on her video, okay? Only comment you've ever left on her channel, which means you're now seeking out videos that are being made about me to inform people of what a horrible human being I am, okay? Wait a second. You're also going over to threads like Reddit and you are posting those exact same statements about me, further informing people of what a horrible person I am, okay? So you're somebody that knows a lot about this person, but if I say you're a super fan, every super fan is offended when I call them a super fan, but they know a lot about this person. Then you excuse it away and go, oh no, I just Googled this stuff about a person. Literally, this one person on my channel, and I did block them finally because I was like, okay, every comment on my channel is about Rosanna Pansino. They know everything there is to know about this hide and seek game, okay? They're commenting on multiple videos on my channel, other people's videos on their channels, okay? In Reddit threads and other forums, tweeting out things about this. It's everywhere, okay? So my final comment to you was, this is not giving opinion, this is giving scary. So let me explain this to you, okay? There's a lot of people that will say, Peter, I hope that you are not giving up pursuing this behind the scenes. I have an attorney and a team of investigators that is continuing to work on this. It's very expensive. I just said this in my video the other day, okay? This is not something that's going to happen in 6 months to a year. This is something that has to be put together for a long time. I will tell you there are a few people out there already that were stalking me and harassing me that have already been informed that I know of them, okay? I will say this one thing. Somebody said something about me sending a cease and desist to... I have never sent a cease and desist to an attorney or myself to anybody, period, in the story. I just want to make that very, very clear, okay? Cease and desist, just so you know, and my attorneys have informed me of this years ago, okay? That cease and desist are rather pointless. Cease and desist are basically, if you don't shut up, I will sue you, okay? It's just kind of like a warning. Cease and desist don't really mean a whole lot, okay? That's what I was told by my attorney, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. I am not paying no $250 to $500 to write up a cease and desist to send to somebody, okay, that I don't really care that deeply about to begin with. And I'm not talking about stalkers and harassers. I'm talking about people that want to body shame me, okay, and stuff like that. Listen, they can body shame me all they want. It hurts my feelings, but I'm not going to, you know, I keep on saying it, okay? Speak into the void. I don't really care. So anyway, and I'm sure that they'll make a video clip of this right now saying that and be like, ooh, are they talking about me? Yes, girl, I'm talking about you. You know I am, okay? Because when I search my name, I see all, it doesn't matter. But anyway, go on and do your thing, right? Okay. I ain't sending no cease and desist to people, okay? But I am investigating this, and some of the people have been contacted by my attorneys, okay? Not a cease and desist, but, you know. So anyway, just a few. I am pursuing this behind the scenes, all right? One of the things that has been consistent, okay, the main stalker that I have that has not been contacted, and I have a lot of information and factual evidence about, okay, comes directly from the fandom of Trisha Paytas. Not the Trisha Paytas haters, but the Trisha Paytas lovers. I don't put this on Trisha Paytas. I don't blame her for this. She cannot control her audience, just like I cannot control my audience, okay? I don't put that on Trisha. People are like, well, Trisha could come out and say something about it. Even if she did, I don't think it would stop it. I don't put that on Trisha Paytas, okay? I don't. So, but then the main stalker that has come for me for years and years and years, okay? I wouldn't say they're the ones that have done the worst harm as far as like getting into situations and stuff like that, but they're the ones that have really made my life difficult. They are a huge, huge Trisha Paytas fan, okay? And for years would comment things in defense of Trisha Paytas on my videos. And I would kind of be like, oh, okay, this is, I'm noticing this, I'm noticing that, whatever. I didn't really connect it, okay? Then I would see they tweet things out. I thought, oh, this is just an overzealous fan. They really don't like that I'm talking about Trisha Paytas. I didn't think much about it, right? Until I brought the information to these investigators, okay? And then they said, you do see that there's a consistent pattern here, right? That this person is making multiple accounts. They're attacking you on multiple accounts. They're saying really harmful things. They're threatening you. Their IP address is directed to these things that are happening behind the scenes. Like, this is scary, Peter. This is not just somebody having an opinion. This is an overzealous fan, okay? So, what I meant by scary, which you called overdramatic, all right? Like I said in my video the other day, I have had people, you have no idea the intrusiveness that has happened to my life, to my family's life, and to my friend's life, okay? To the point of really being scared for my life at times, okay? When you are commenting paragraphs in defense of somebody on my video, okay? Calling me horrific names with no evidence to back it up on multiple videos, and you are only commenting on videos that I make about that person. You are going over to other people's videos, okay? Commenting similar things, saying horrific things about me. You're posting it on threads. You are a super fan. I don't care how many times you want to sing from the mountaintops that you're not, that you've only seen a couple videos of her. The last time I dealt with that was somebody that finally said, yeah, they felt like they were dreaming in James Charles' head and putting ideas into his head while they were dreaming being in his walls, okay? I know how you people work. And it's scary to me. Because I have suffered as a result of the super fans of some of these people, okay? I'm not talking about a fan. I'm not talking about somebody that likes this person. I'm not talking about somebody that's like, oh, well, I like Trisha Peter, but I like you too. That's fine. Do you know how many people that I know? One of the people that I, like, interacts with my vlog the most in all of my channels disagrees greatly with my opinion about some of the people that I talk about and is fans of those people. And that is totally fine. She's not a threat to me. I shout her out in my videos a lot. We get along completely fine. I adore her. You know, we talk in DMs and stuff like that. She can have her own opinion. It's like this whole mentality that people say, well, if you have a different opinion, you get your comment deleted off of Peter's channel. I have very clearly shown and proven that I do not delete comments off my channel, okay? That's going to start, though. This is the big announcement today about blocking and deleting, okay? When you go to my videos, okay, there are a lot of opposing comments on my videos for the last 7 years, all right? For the last 7 years. You know, I'm not a James Charles coming out with a reveal and every comment is in favor of me because he's got his team working overtime. I'm not Shane Dawson and Rylan Adams having a team work overtime to delete negative comments because they want it to all look one way, okay? You can get on my video all day long. You don't even have to say I love you, I like you. You can even say piss off. You can say, Peter, piss off. I do not agree with this statement, okay? I don't agree with that. But don't come over to my channel and say, I love you, I have watched you for years and years and years, but, and then I go look at your comments, and your comments are only ever about one person. If you're going to come to my channel and you're going to say things like, you don't have to tell us to leave, we feel like we have to leave, and then you continue to comment on further videos, okay? But then I come out with an entire video talking about the fact, and you talk about how long you've watched my videos, and you're an OG Wolfpack member and all this kind of stuff, but then I come out and I make an apology, which apparently wasn't good enough, okay? It was too late in the video. That video was not about that. The video was showing how I use recovery to work through things in my life, okay? It was not 100% an apology video. The apology was part of that video, but that wasn't what that video was about, okay? I felt like it was important to make that apology, but I was also showing you how I get to that point, okay? So, but for somebody to sit there and say, well, I've been an OG Wolfpack member of yours for years and I love you, but like I can't with this and I can't with that and whatever, and like literally every comment, you're coming for me and just came for me in my latest video. But the one video you didn't comment on was the comment where I addressed everything, explained everything, and apologized to people that felt like they were being yelled at and screamed at and cussed at. You didn't comment on that video. You didn't say, wow, Peter, as an OG Wolfpack member, I really appreciate you taking some accountability and looking at yourself. I don't need that from anybody. But if you're going to come so hard for me on other things, then at least acknowledge the one. These are the parents out there, okay, that never acknowledge the B's. You know, like it's always about the C's, the D's, and the F's. They never acknowledge the A's or the B's, okay? It's like you never want to acknowledge somebody for something good they did. I can say I do that on my channel. I just did a whole video singing out Jaclyn Hill's praises. I even said in my video, listen, I even said in my video, to question somebody's sobriety is to wish death on an addict or an alcoholic. I've said that many, many times. Go to that video and see how many people question her sobriety in that video, okay? And those comments are still up there to this day. So tell me I delete comments I don't agree with. That's some bullshit. That's some moving on the goalpost and constantly changing things to fit your narrative. And I'm tired of it, okay? I'm tired of it. I don't have any issue with anybody having an opposing opinion on my channel. I never have. I've always said that I honor the conversation in the comment sections, okay? And I respect it, and I read it, and I learn from it. And sometimes you change my opinions, okay? But don't fault me for being afraid and saying, this is not an opinion, this is turning scary, okay? When I have literally dealt with the same thing from other people that have left comments on other people's videos, that have left threads about me, that have commented negatively, and I have allowed it, okay? This was when I was a doormat. People said, you were nicer then. I was a doormat. I was letting people say horrific things about me, lying on my name, not dealing with it. Those days are done, okay? I'm not even giving you 3 strikes. When you come over and you want to just spam my comment section with a bunch of super fandom bullshit, fine. Once, I'll allow it, okay? The second time, it's done. You're over. You're being blocked. That's not allowing your opinion on my channel. You want to come over there and have an opinion about something, that's fine. You want to come cutthroat for me, you're done. You're off my channel, okay? I'm not dealing with it. Y'all are scary for me. Okay, and to be honest with you, it's literally only one person on a video. The rest of you guys, I mean, I feel so blessed to only have to deal with it for one person, right? But here's the thing that I've come up with. I have to be able to change and evolve and grow, right? Like the other day I got in my video, the James and Jeffrey video, and I had such a fun time, and I cussed a little bit. People are like, it's funny, cracking me up because people are like, Peter math and regular math because Peter how he counts swears. I thought that was so cute. I love that. Whoever said that, by the way, so thank you. Because it is so true, right? But the thing is I've said this, you know, that I'm finding this happy medium with myself. I am, right? Like, I'm still gonna come for people. Every once in a while, I'm telling somebody to get effed and whatever, you know? I'm apparently, okay, this is what is so interesting to me, is they are counting how many times I am saying in a video to Rosanna Pansino to get effed, right? You're not a super fan of Rosanna Pansino. You have such an issue with the fact that I said in a video 4 or 5 times that she could get effed. Do you know how many times I told Manny to get effed? Do you know how many times I've told Daniel Prada to get effed? Do you know how many times I told James Charles to get effed? Do you know how many times I told Colleen Ballinger to get effed? You didn't have an issue with that. Why didn't you take issue with all those times that I said that to those people? I told Daniel Harris from the Halloween franchise to get effed. Do you know how many people I've told to get effed? It's a joke. Maybe it's not a funny joke. I don't know. But if you didn't take issue with all those people, and you're not a super fan of Rosanna Pansino, why did you take such an issue with that? So, really, your comment coming for me and changing the goalposts really made me realize, and yes, this is based on one comment, but to see the movement that you're doing around YouTube to really paint a picture of who I'm not, that is scary to me, okay? It's a smear campaign, is what it is, okay? Based on your love for one person out there. And, it is scary to me. It's not overdramatic. I've dealt with it, okay? I've dealt with it. There are things that I can't even say that I've dealt with on video. Like, I almost just said one of them. My mind immediately goes to, and I've been told this by my attorneys, don't say it on video because you'll be giving other people ideas of what to do. There are things I cannot say, okay, that I have dealt with from people that said they weren't super fans that were super fans. Those are the links that people will go to. So no, it's not dramatic for me. It's very, very serious, okay? People out there saying, I'm not even being stalked, I'm not even being harassed. Why don't you go look up my name and you go find that thing where somebody put an obituary on there. I'm not going to give credit to that person and I'm not going to show it in my video, okay? But you can go find it. How about an account, 2 accounts that were made the same day that I made that video, within hours of me posting that video, that were attacking me left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right, right? That were made that day, okay? Coming from me. And as soon as I blocked them, they took down their accounts immediately. I have side accounts, so I can go in and look at those accounts. They immediately took down those accounts. Because their entire goal was just to harass me. But that's not occurring, right? You know the phone calls that I get daily. Okay, you know that that's happening, right? Is it taking a mental toll on me? Absolutely. Am I going to allow it to stop me from doing something I love? No fucking way. Count that for the cuss jar. I'm not letting it take it away from what I love. I'm not. Because then they've won. I have allowed people that had power over me or bullied me my entire life, okay, to dictate what I am allowed to do and what I love to do. Those days are over. That is probably one of the greatest things I've learned from the standing up for myself era, okay, is I don't have to yell at people on camera. I know you guys don't like it, okay? I know there are some people out there that are like, I live for the yelling and the cussing. I can cuss a little bit. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. I can get passionate about something and yell, but I don't have to yell at you. Like, I take full accountability. I looked at that, right? Like, I can cuss a little bit. I can yell a little bit, but I don't have to yell at you. I don't have to cuss at you. There's a total difference, and I understand it. And for all of you that brought that to my attention, I really appreciate it, right? But the one thing that I will not allow, okay, is for people to diminish who I am. Because when I made the video, I did feel like, Are you going to become a watered down version of yourself? Because you're trying to appease some people out there. And yet again, what I found myself doing was, I was like, I think I'm trying to make, like I always have, like I did when I was a little kid in school, if I can just get the people that don't like me, that are bullying me and hating me, if I can just get them to like me, then I'm likable, right? Fuck them days. Fuck them days. Them days are over, okay? If you don't like me, you don't like me. I can't change that. This is taking me a long time to learn. You know, people will be like, oh, he's 51 years old, why isn't he learning this by now? Because I'm a slow learner. It's taken me a long time to learn this, okay? But I'm not going to allow it to diminish me. People will be like, why are you online if this is so bad? Because I'm not going to allow people to take away what I've loved, okay? There were things that I loved to do that people made fun of me for or diminished me for, that I allowed that to get into my head, and I'm not allowing that to happen anymore. I'm not allowing that to happen anymore. I'm not allowing people to dictate what I do in my life, what I do on my channel. This is my channel. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about on here, okay? And I'm not making apologies for it. I think there are people out there that think that, like, I am this guy that just sits in the middle of Indiana and just comes up with all this, like, I'm calculating things behind the scenes, you know, and whatever. No, I know a lot of stuff because people are stupid enough to call this old man sitting on his front porch and tell him shit that they probably shouldn't. Okay? And I take notes of it and I keep screenshots. Because I'm a drama channel. And when you're an OG drama channel that's been around for 7 years, not just 2, okay? You remember stuff and how it went down. Alright? And you remember to take note of things. Trust me, you remember it. Okay? I'll probably do an Amazon haul today. That's how much drama I'm trying to contrive on this front porch over here. You know what I'm saying? It's just not that deep, right? I'm just a guy that's trying to, like, work through my OCD, work through issues in my life, trying to live out loud to help other people get inspired to get sober and change their lives. I have an amazing life as a result. But this is like a bee that will not stop buzzing around my head, right? So the only thing that I know to do with that is to, when I see it, to block it, okay? Don't be worried about being blocked from my channel because you leave an opposing opinion. You don't even have to say you love me. You don't even have to say you like me, okay? You don't have to say I love you, but. You don't even have to say that. You can say, Peter, piss off. Like, I don't agree with you, okay? It's when it crosses the line of threatening. It's when you are going to multiple accounts. And, like, I even wrote this down last night, right? Like, it's when... Oh, no, that's... my video. See, this is how deep it is. That's my video. I'm becoming a Bravo channel. That's for my reality TV channel. Because I'm going to BravoCon next year. Trust, I am. It's when you're seeking out other people's videos and forums to talk about me. Okay? This is not just in a comment on a video. This is a motive to you really have to... I mean... Y'all are coming... Not y'all. You are coming for me and saying... how nasty of a person I am. I'm literally making one video, okay? I'm not going to no forums talking about people. I'm not even tweeting stuff out. I tweet out Halloween and Christmas crap, okay? I ain't leaving comments on other people's videos. You are, though. You're working overtime to let people know what you think about me. Have at it, okay? But you ain't gonna have that time on my channel, and I ain't gonna listen to you on Twitter. Those days are over. You're done, okay? So anyway, yeah, and the constant moving of the goalpost, too. I just want to tell you, when people move the goalpost and they say things like, well, you're not open to criticism, and then I get an entire video and show that I'm open to criticism, right? And then they say, well, yeah, but you only listen to it from the people that... I'm done with the moving of the goalpost, okay? So here's the things that are changing today. Peter gonna cuss in videos from time to time. Peter might tell people to get fucked from time to time. Peter's gonna do what Peter wants to do on his channel, okay? Peter's not gonna yell at you anymore. Peter's not gonna cuss at you anymore. At you, okay? There's a difference between cussing and cussing at you. Peter's not gonna do those things anymore. Because Peter can read, as I talk about Peter in third person, I can read and I can differentiate between people that really enjoy watching my channel, that are taken aback by the way that my behavior changed. I think that is a fair statement. I am totally open to listening to that, okay? I am open to that. And I have to tell you, I am so appreciative of the people that said that. I'm also appreciative of the people that said it never bothered you. I'm appreciative of people that just are open enough to give me critiques about this and that. So I'm going to still cuss from time to time. I'm still going to do that. I'm still going to have real sit down, nice conversations. Y'all, I found out what that cough is it's from my lisinopril, my blood pressure medication. I talked about that on my vlog yesterday. So I'm stopping that. But anyway, it's not from my allergies like I thought for months. But anyway, Peter's going to still cuss from time to time. I'm still going to get passionate and yell in my videos, just not at you. Okay? And I'm so thankful that people brought that to my attention. Because I couldn't see it, honestly. You know? That meant a lot to me. I'm no longer allowing people to be super fans and just go off on me on my channel, okay? You want to be a super fan and have an opinion? Just say, I'm a super fan of somebody, or I really like this person and I feel like I need to defend them. You can say that. Your comment will stand. But when you're going to attack me out of your super fandom for somebody, no, baby, you're going to go, okay? And I am not going to say multiple times in a comment, do you need help leaving? I'm going to help you leave, okay? Number one. Number two, okay? Number one and number two. Those days are over. The changing of the goalpost, okay, that is so hypocritical. This is going to stop, hold on. Okay, the changing of the goalpost of like, it's never enough of what I do, those days are over too, okay? And there may be days that I don't feel like I am healthy enough to get in the comment sections and read them. Just so you know, okay? Most days I read all the comments. There might be some days that I don't read no comments at all. There might be some days that I post a video and I go, you know what? This is the video that I know I shouldn't be reading no comments on. Just so you know, okay? And I will, I don't even feel the need to delete a comment. The only time I really delete a comment is if it's somebody, and I rarely ever do, okay? If it's somebody that I know has watched my channel for a long time and has had different opinions, but I think their comment might be offensive to other people and the way that they worded it, I'll delete that comment, but I won't block them. When the person is threatening to myself or other people, and typically, if they're threatening to me, I give them multiple chances, okay? But when they're threatening to other people, I block them immediately. If you're coming for somebody in my comment section that has left a nice comment, you're gone, okay? Because I'm not protective over my audience. This is a safe place, okay? Just to make that clear. And speaking of, I give those people multiple chances, what I have realized is I have been giving some crazy folk out there way too many chances. Too many, okay? Those days are over. So what this is the redefinition of my standing up for myself era. And I'm really thankful for the majority of you guys out there that have stayed and watched my videos that have brought to my attention that either you said that some of my yelling and cussing you felt like was at you. I appreciate that. I totally acknowledge that, and I hear it, okay? And to those people out there that said that you never had a problem for it and you live for it, I appreciate that too. And I'm trying to find a happy medium in between there, right? But in the wise words of a not wise person, haters back off, okay? Because you ain't welcome over here no more. You can go do your side stuff over wherever you need to do, okay? You can go seek out the videos on me, and you can go post it in forums and all that kind of stuff, you know? And in all honesty, to those people out there that, you know, want to make my life live in hell, this is the thing, right? Y'all you shout from the mountaintops the loudest, okay? And come for me. But you hide behind fake profile pictures with fake names, okay? You aren't proud of what you're saying. You can't stand behind it with a full chest. You aren't standing up for yourself. You're weak, okay? And the scary thing about that is that until I have to pay some money to have people look into who you are, I don't know who you are, okay? So when you're doing multiple things at multiple forums and multiple videos, it is scary to me. And I take that very, very seriously. To those people that have stuck around for a while, whether you agree with me or you don't, hey, I appreciate you being here. I plan on continuing to make videos, some serious, some funny. But just remember, okay? I am just a normal guy that has been blessed enough to have 7 YouTube channels that I love posting on. I'm just working on my stuff behind the scenes, got a sponsor, got a therapist, got an amazing husband and best friend, got some amazing friends in my life, and I am just trying to get by to enjoy every day of my life, and I want the same thing for you as well. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.